Leading with Lineage.
California Reparations Task Force hearings.
Final report recommendations.
California Freedmen Affairs Agency, CAFA office.
The Fund for Reparations and Reparative Justice.
Free the land, eminent domain, unjust property taking return.
The Mass Media Group was there. Reparations Now, the documentary where it all began.
Released Juneteenth, 2023.
Now listen, if you can't handle the TR roof, don't tune in.
Available to watch on Tubi TV and other streaming outlets. As always, thank you for the support. Please like, share, and subscribe to your number one source for reparations and news. Until next time, peace and reparations.
My name is Jan Williams.
Jan Williams. All right, let's do this. All right, Jan. So how long you been involved in the reparations movement?
I think I've been involved with reparations. I think it's been maybe 3 years. I think it's been about 3 years.
And how did you come about into the reparations movement?
Listening to YouTube videos. And there was actually a time when I thought that I was going to have to start a chapter in Los Angeles myself. But then after going on Google and looking for some stuff, I found Tiffany Quarles, who, I found Tiffany. Yeah, I found them, and I'm like, oh, there's people already organizing, so let me just join them. This is not another task I have to take on myself, so, yeah.
So you say you're also involved in Black Lives Matter, is that correct? You want to give us a little history about that as well, in terms of your involvement?
Yes, so basically, after I saw the murder execution of 12-year-old Tamir Rice by police, it moved me to want to do something to change that. Like, there's no way that you can say that he did anything wrong. Like, it was less than 2 seconds that they pulled on him. They didn't even get out of their car before they shot and killed Tamir. My son was about 12 years old around that time, and he oftentimes was, because he was independent, he was transporting himself, taking public transportation to school and stuff like that. So it just moved me no, this is not right. I have to figure out some kind of way that we need to change some laws or whatever we need to do. So I just started Googling a lot of different organizations, and so I was just getting involved with everything relating to Black folks at the time. And it led me to one of the meetings that I attended was Black Lives Matter Los Angeles chapter, and with it being more Black-centered and Black-focused, is where I felt like I found my home and my voice, and where I could do advocacy to end this police violence against Black folks.
So can you explain what building? Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. How you doing? So can you explain what building we're in right now?
So right now we're inside the Center for Black Power. It's a building that Black Lives Matter Los Angeles chapter was able to acquire in the heart of Black Los Angeles, inside Leimert Park, also known as Africatown. And it's a place where we want to be able to allow Black-led organizations to organize and build power, because that's what we definitely need here in Los Angeles.
So are there any plans that you're aware of right now that in terms of the facility and so forth, like you guys gonna have any classes here, yoga, media, what's the plan in terms of utilizing this space?
Well, we've been using it for our general meetings. We're not sure for sure how we're going to use it, but we're definitely going to use it for Black-led organizations. I think we have a math camp that will be here this summer. So we're trying to figure that out now. Okay. Yeah, we're trying to figure that out.
Okay. And one more question. All right, so even though I know you're a reparationist and you're involved in reparations, what does reparations look like to you?
Reparations for me looks like I will be able to afford a house in the community that I love and live in the Crenshaw district. Currently, I cannot. My income basically qualifies me for about $500,000 for a home loan. You can't buy that in Los Angeles, and that is one of the ways that Black folks are being pushed out of Los Angeles, because we cannot afford the housing. And so reparations would look like the government paying that difference. The house across the street from me sold for $1.6 million. I can't afford that. So reparations would look like the government making up that difference so that I'm able to live and sustain in my community. Reparations looks like giving me a check for the fact that, y'all basically created a whole lot of toxicity in the black community. My own father ended up being addicted to crack cocaine and spent 30 years in and out of jail. During that time, our family was broken. He did have children. I have a brother who's all the way in Cleveland because he ended up in the foster care system. So reparations means cutting him a check so he could stabilize himself and his kids for the next generation. Reparations looks like my own son being able to go to college if that's something that he decides to do without me incurring a bunch of debt or him incurring a bunch of debt, because after he incurs that debt, guess what? He can't buy a house because he has all this other debt, So reparations looks like him being able to go to college for free. Reparations looks like, we have so many Black folks that are pushed out of employment opportunities through nepotism and so many other ways. Reparations will look like a guaranteed job, in the city or the government, right? In the city that you live in, that pays a living wage, right, to live in the city that you're living in. So reparations is jobs, education, housing, and a check for me to just live my best life.
Okay, I lied. I have one more question, because you did mention real estate and land. Can you explain about the gentrification that has happened over time here in Los Angeles? Specifically, you mentioned Crenshaw, Leimert Park, and et cetera, Baldwin Hills, and we can go on and on. Can you kind of explain about the gentrification?
I can, because one of the other organizations I get down with is Downtown Crenshaw, which was the community-led effort to purchase the Crenshaw Mall. And although we raised enough money and raised the most money to purchase and offered a bid that was higher than any other developer, they refused to sell the mall to us because we are a community-led organization. So they refused to sell the mall to us. I can tell you the guy who currently has the contract for the mall, David Schwartzman, he actually not only got 6 months of extensions because he couldn't raise the money, because of the community-led effort, and because it's a loud deal, because we pushed 2 developers before him out of the community, right? By organizing through protesting, downtown Crenshaw pushed 2 developers out. David Schwartzman was not able to raise the money that he said he was going to bid them off for. Not only did he initially said he would close in 60 days, it took him 6 months to close, and the pension fund who actually owns the mall, so it's actually us, our own people who work for the county, for the city. It's actually our pension funds who currently own the mall, right? And so they awarded the sale to David, gave him a 6-month extension, and he couldn't even close with what he promised, and they let him close for less than what he bid on. So when we see the fact that a Black-led, community-led organization that submitted the highest bid to purchase the Crenshaw Mall was not allowed, we know that it's dirty deals happening in the back. So one of the things that contributed to the gentrification in Los Angeles is these house flippers. I know there are a lot of people who will come and buy your house, give you a little bit of nothing basically for your house, then put all of these really expensive marble countertops and all this other kind of stuff in the house, and then they end up having to sell the house for over $1 million so that they can actually make a profit. It's been that being unchecked in our community, that is what has contributed to gentrification. Because the house I live in now is the house my grandfather bought in 1960, right? Paid off. So I'm grateful that I'm able to live there, but if I want to buy my own house, I can't, right? But they're constantly knocking at our door to buy our house, and not because of me knowing, a lot of folks would be like, oh, you're gonna give me $600,000 for this? So these are houses that are not even on the market. It's actually gentrifiers that are going knocking on people's doors, asking them, hey, predators, exactly. That's exactly who they are. They're speculative predators. They're knocking on doors saying, hey, I'll give you $700,000. And if you think about somebody that is maybe retired, that is looking good to them, right? Because how much are they living? How are they able to really afford to live in Los Angeles with the high cost of gas and groceries and everything else on a fixed income? So they're like, okay, I'll take that $700 and go retire with my family in Texas or Louisiana or wherever they're originally from.